DreAllDay.com.
DreAllDay.com. Topic is rules without enforcement, rules without accountability, rules without any form of penalty are not rules. They are actually, we should call them what they actually are, which are suggestions. And the reason I'm talking about this one is because in my daily motivation, my text community where I send out my daily motivation, from which I send out my daily motivation, if you want to get that, just text me. My number's down in the description. It's 305-384-6894. Whenever someone comes into my text community, I usually ask them some form of question like, what are you working on? What you doing right now? What's your biggest challenge right now? Something like that. And too often, people tell me what their challenge is, whatever it is, and then I'll ask them something like, all right, well, how long have you been dealing with this challenge? Or they'll tell me, how it's been going on and what's been happening, something like that. Somebody will tell me, well, I've had this challenge my whole life, or I've been dealing with this challenge for 3 years, or, I've always had this problem, something like that. And I'll ask them something like, because, they're just coming into my world, so I ask them something like, okay, well, what have you been doing to try to fix this problem? Or I'll ask them something like, okay, you told me what the challenge is, so, you've been living your whole life before you came to my text. What is your plan to do something about this problem? And you know what I get as an answer? People give me, their answer is usually some form of nothing. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to keep having the same problem. I was texting with somebody yesterday, not yesterday from when you're seeing this, but yesterday from when I'm recording, and this woman was saying she had a problem with time management. I've had a problem with time management for the last 3 years. And I said, all right, well, you've been having this problem for 3 years. What have you done to address this problem, or what do you plan to do to address this problem? You know what this person said to me? She said, I'm gonna take my dog on a long walk and listen to God, and listen to music and listen to God. And I had another person say something around this, sounded similar to this. He was telling me he had some issue. I can't remember exactly what the issue was, but I said, well, what are you going to do about this issue? His issue was something around finances and being more disciplined and being more consistent. And I said, all right, well, what's your plan to do something about this problem? Because this person, these are grown adults here. I'm talking to some 12-year-old kid. These are grown adults over the age of 30. And I said, well, what are you planning on doing about this? And this is what he said. He said, I'm going to pray on it. Check this out, y'all. This is in no way sacrilegious against whatever religion you practice. Whatever religion you're in, practice it. All right, be faithful to your religion. But this whole putting it on, I'm gonna pray to God and listen to God when you have an issue that's been going on for years and you ain't done a damn thing about it, don't put it on God. That ain't God's responsibility to fix your problem. God put you here and gave you free will. I think that's what it says in your religious text, right? So that's a garbage excuse for you to do nothing. And if you set a standard for yourself, or you claim to have a standard for yourself, or you want to have a standard for yourself, but you're not doing anything to hold yourself accountable to that standard or responsible for that standard, then you don't actually have a rule. You don't actually have a standard. What you have is a suggestion or a thought or an idea or a nice to have or a wish that you're hoping comes true, and nothing's actually going to take place. And people do this to themselves their entire lives. I'm just giving you a couple examples of people who have texted me, but it's 8 billion people on the planet. I got thousands of people in my text. That's less than 1% of the 8 billion people on this planet. And a lot of people on this planet just go through their entire lives deluding themselves, saying, well, I want to do this. I'm going to pray to God. I'm going to hope it happens, or people will say something like, here's something that somebody else said to me. I said, well, he told me whatever his issue was. I said, well, what's your plan to do something about this issue? He said, I'm going to focus on myself. All right, that is bullshit. Focus on yourself. You've been focusing on yourself your whole damn life. If you're 37, you've been focusing on yourself for 37 years. Now you're going to focus on yourself. That's going to solve your problem. All right, focusing on yourself is what got you into the problem in the first place. So what is your plan to do something about the situation? Ladies and gentlemen, understand me very clearly. You need to have a clear strategy, meaning action steps. Key phrase, action steps for what you are going to do, keyword, do about your challenge and about your situation. Not pray on it, not focus on myself, not think more about it, not let God do his work. No, all of that is some BS excuse for you to keep doing what you've been doing, which is staying in your comfort zone, The problem with you being in your comfort zone is that it got you into the problem that you have today. So you don't want to stay in your comfort zone. You need to do something to get out of your comfort zone and do something different. Keyword, do something. What is your plan? What are your action steps that is going to change the situation? The challenge for many people, because logically, everybody understands what I just said. Logically, you get it. The challenge for many people is that they don't want to do anything that's going to take them out of their comfort zone, because, I mean, that's why it's called the comfort zone. It's comfortable there. You're used to doing that. You're used to BSing yourself. You're used to lying to yourself. You're used to deluding yourself and telling yourself that you're doing something for the situation because you're focusing on yourself or praying on it or whatever. Any one of these other bullshit phrases that people throw around these days that makes them feel comfortable with their in ideal situation that they claim to want to do something about, but they actually don't really want to do something about. They just say it because it sounds good. See, when I talk to people, being that my line of work is about discipline, accountability, strategy, execution. When I'm talking to people and I ask them, well, what's your plan? What are you going to do about a situation? Sometimes people tell me what I think that they think I want to hear, which is, they give me something that sounds like an action plan, because they don't want to sound like an idiot telling me that they're going to do absolutely nothing. But I can see right through it when they actually are going to do absolutely nothing. So here's the real question here, because the real question is not, do you need to do something other than what you've been doing? We already know the answer to that is yes. The question, that's not the question. The question is, do you actually want to do something different than what you've been doing? Because here's the fact and the truth, everybody. Most people do not change in life. Most people go through their whole lives, they live the same. Most people get to they become a certain type of person by around the age of 21 to 25, around that time frame. Those of you who are in that age group, I'm talking to you. Many people get to around that age group, and then by about 25 through 85, when they die, they're the same person. They live the same life for about the next 60 years. That's how most people live. And when I say most, I mean more than 50%. A majority of people, this is how they live their lives. They become a certain person at a young age and they never change. They never grow. They never get any better at anything. They never do anything intentionally to improve themselves. And they just live the same life for the next 60 years until they pass away. Now, some of them understand that they probably need to do something different if they want to live a better life. So when you confront them with a question like, what is your plan to improve your life? They'll give you an answer that sounds good, but then you look at their actions, and their actions and their words are completely in conflict. So the question that you want to ask yourself is, what are you really trying to do out here? Are you really trying to get better and improve and step your game and your life up? Or are you just trying to stay where you're at and be comfortable in that space that you're in right now? Because it's all good. If you want to stay in the same space and be the same person for the rest of your life, it's fine. Just be honest about it. It ain't about me. I mean, you don't have to answer to me. You got to answer to yourself. What are you really trying to do out here? Are you really trying to get better, or are you just want to keep focusing on yourself, focusing on you got you here? Do you want to keep praying on it? You pray every day, right? If you're religious, you pray every day. So praying obviously ain't gonna change your situation. Praying got you into the situation. The praying didn't actually get you into it, but praying is a thing that you do. That's not the reason you're in the situation that you're in, and it's not going to get you out of it. What are you actually going to do? And are you one of the small percentage of people? And this is a small percentage. I'm not saying this to hype you up. There's only a small percentage of people who are really serious about doing something different to alter the trajectory of their lives. Only a very small percentage of people. Everybody talks about it. Actually, that's not true. Most people don't talk about it because they don't want to do anything. Most people are not even watching this content like this. A small percentage of people will watch stuff like this and then they'll say all the right things about what they want to do, what they're going to do, and this and that and all that. Then you got an even smaller percentage of people who are serious and they actually do stuff. My question is, which group are you in? Are you in the big group that does nothing, the smaller group that talks about it but does nothing, or the actual really, really small group that actually does something? And listen, don't tell me in a comment or in your words what you're going to do, because I don't believe you. Show yourself, because it ain't about proving it to me. Show yourself through your actions that you're serious about taking your life to a different place by doing some things that are going to take you out of your comfort zone and move you into a different space. All that said, text me to get into my daily motivation text community where you get that daily motivation every day. My number is 305-384-6894. When you text me, I am going to ask you, what's your biggest challenge and what have you been doing to address this challenge? And what do you plan on doing to address it? And go to workonyourgameuniversity.com to join my group coaching program, where I coach everybody who's in my community. Every week I do a live training call. We have a members only community where we're going to work on, first of all, your mindset. That's the foundation of all this. Then the strategies, accountability, and the execution to get you, your life, your business where it needs to be. That's at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.